Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your friendly neighborhood Oxhorn, and I'm here to show off my absolute favorite weapon in the game, let alone the new Nuka World DLC, Aeternus, a legendary Gatling laser that you can get from the Rogue Knight. Aeternus. Aeternus? Aeternus? I don't know how to pronounce it. People kept correcting the way I pronounced it in previous videos, but I think it's an amazing weapon, and I'm going to show you how to get it, and we're going to talk a little bit about its unique quirks and some of the bugs related to this weapon. So when you find the Aeternus Gatling laser, it's nearly fully upgraded. All I had to do was upgrade the capacitor, and it has a legendary effect that says unlimited ammo capacity. Using a mod to take a look at legendary effects, I see that it's called the never-ending legendary effect. Now, this is a little bit vague. What do they mean by unlimited ammo capacity? Does it mean that it has the capacity to use an unlimited amount of ammo? Or does it mean that it never consumes ammunition? Well, the best way is to test this. I went online to see what other people were saying about it, and I got conflicting reports. Some were saying that it has true unlimited ammo consumption, and others were saying that it actually does consume fusion cores when you use it. So I set up a little experiment. I ejected all fusion cores from my inventory except for one new pristine fusion core. I then tried using the gun. Even though I had a fusion core in my inventory, I could not reload it, so I actually had to switch weapons and then switch back for the fusion core to be loaded into the gun. After I pulled the trigger, I shot once, and it completely consumed the fusion core. This was a brand new fusion core. I had not used it with power armor or any other Gatling lasers, and it completely consumed the core. I tried this experiment a couple more times with the exact same results. So then I tried with a stack of 5 fresh, never used fusion cores. I again had to switch weapons and then switch weapons back to get it to load the ammunition, but upon pulling the trigger, it appears to last forever. But what we see is a little confusing. Before I pull the trigger, it says I have 5 fusion cores in my inventory and 600 rounds. But as soon as I pull the trigger, that 600 number drops to the number 4, and that doesn't make any sense to me. I can sit there shooting this Gatling laser forever, and it says I have 4 rounds left in the chamber with 5 magazines left, 5 fusion cores left. If I switch weapons and then switch back, I again see the 600 rounds number above 5 fusion cores, so it's not consuming the fusion cores. But when I pull the trigger, it again goes down to 4 rounds left in the chamber. I can't explain that. I have absolutely no idea what's going on. Now, I read somewhere online that when you switch weapons or when you fast travel in and out of a zone, that you can actually consume fusion cores, and I tested this, and I was not able to replicate those results. I zoned in and out a few times, I fast traveled, and it looked exactly the same. I still had 5 fusion cores in my inventory, and only 1 was being consumed. Now, to make this even more confusing, I took a look at my inventory, and remember, I had a stack of 5 fusion cores. Well, now that I've used the Aeternus Gatling laser, I have a stack of 4 fusion cores and 1 fusion core that is being used. This is typical when your power armor or when a Gatling laser is currently consuming a fusion core, they take it out of the stack, and then when you hover over it, you can see what the charge is. In my inventory, 1 fusion core was outside of the stack and it had a charge of 54. So using this gun did indeed consume 46% of that fusion core. But what's curious about it is the stack is still what's equipped. See that checkbox next to the stack of 4 fusion cores? That means that that stack of fusion cores is what's currently feeding ammunition into my Gatling laser. And if you look at the charge, it says 0 of 100. What the actual heck? This doesn't make any sense. I don't know if that's just because it's a stack of 4 fusion cores or what, but it says 0 of 100, even though I know that all of these fusion cores are absolutely brand new. While we're talking about bugs, I want to show you something. Now, watch my fusion cores as I jump into the sky with my jetpack. What the heck? Let's rewind that and watch that again. Yeah, so I've never had that happen before, and I can't explain how this could happen. I don't have any mods that alter the way the power armor jetpack works, or the way fusion cores work, or the way Gatling lasers work. The only new part of my equipment here is the Aeternus Gatling laser. So what happened? All of my fusion cores just suddenly got consumed when I pulsed the jetpack. I've only ever had that once, and I just so happened to be recording when it happened, but I'm thinking that has something to do with the Aeternus Gatling laser. Weird things like that happen when using this gun, and I think it's going to take a while for the modding community to kind of nail down the issues with it and release some patches to get it fixed. Hopefully, Bethesda will beat them to the punch. So, this gun comes with some unique quirks that don't make a lot of sense, but the end result is a gun that consumes a little bit of ammunition at once, and then doesn't consume any more ammunition the rest of the time you use it. You gotta make sure that you have more than one fusion core in your inventory. If you only have one fusion core in your inventory, it'll consume that fusion core and the gun will stop working. But as long as you have 2 or more fusion cores in your inventory, you essentially have got yourself a weapon that never runs out of ammunition. You never have to reload it again, and you never have to worry about running out of fuel for your power armor while using the Gatling laser. This is such a relief for me, because one of the reasons I never wanted to have a power armor wearing, Gatling laser wielding Brotherhood of Steel character is because fusion cores, especially earlier in the game, are so hard to come by. I thought it was completely impractical to have a Gatling laser because the fuel is fusion cores, which are already rare and which I need for my power armor. Plus, if you've got a jetpack, every time you use the jetpack, it consumes your fusion core faster, and sprinting consumes your fusion core faster. So, for all of these reasons, I never wanted to use a Gatling laser because I thought it was impractical. But if you have all of the levels of nuclear physicist, which can essentially double the amount of fusion cores you have, and if you use the Aeternus gun, which no longer consumes any fuel from your fusion cores, then it makes sense. Your fusion cores are basically all used for your power armor and your power armor alone, which makes the jetpack worthwhile, which makes sprinting worthwhile, and which makes this epic Gatling laser worthwhile. I did have to give up my 2-shot Gatling laser for this one, but it's a much better trade-off in my opinion. To get the Aeternus, you need to complete the Radiant Quest's Amoral Combat. Every now and then, when you zone into Nuka World, you're going to start the quest Amoral Combat, and you have to go to the Nuka Cave to talk to Fritz. Fritz will say that some Wastelander has found his way into the Gauntlet, and you can either let the Wastelander go, ask the Raiders to take care of him, or take care of him yourself.
Time to put on a show.
Hell yeah!
If you choose to take care of him yourself, you can go into the Kolokar's arena and fight the Wastelander. Each time you repeat this quest, you meet a different enemy. For me, I had to complete this quest 5 different times before I got the Aeternus Gatling laser. The first time I did it, I fought Sabot. The second time, I fought Wretch. The third time, I fought Commander Bear. The fourth time, I fought Sabine. And the 5th time, I fought a legendary power armor wearing former Brotherhood of Steel member named Rogue Knight. At my level, he was legendary and many levels above me. However, there's a little bit of a glitch in the Kolokar's arena, where sometimes when the door opens, the enemy just stands there, allowing you to just unload your entire clip into him. Once dead, the Rogue Knight drops Aeternus. What's really weird about this is when I looted the item, it actually gave me the stats of the 2-shot Gatling laser that I had equipped. I can't explain that, maybe it's some sort of mod conflict, but when I checked my inventory afterwards, the Aeternus was indeed in my inventory. Now, if you're depending upon luck to get the Amoral Combat quest, you're gonna have to spend quite a long time before you find the Rogue Knight. So what I did is I ended up farming this quest until I got the gun. I looked online for guides to see how other people have farmed it, and Many of them were saying that in order to get this quest to reliably spawn, they had to go all the way back to the very beginning of the gauntlet when you first enter Nuka World. Go through the entire gauntlet, enter the Kolokar's arena, and then exit into Nuka World before Amoral Combat would appear. Repeating this process, I was successful. If you do go back to the beginning of the gauntlet and go through the entire gauntlet again, when you emerge, you will get the Amoral Combat quest. But that was such a long time, I figured there's got to be an easier way to go about it, and I did find an easier way. After you kill one of these enemies in the gauntlet, just go back in through the door where they came from and zone out of the Kolokar's arena. Then just turn around, zone back into the Kolokar's arena, exit the arena, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to get Amoral Combat to start for your character. Sometimes it didn't work, and in those instances, I just had to fast travel away and fast travel back, or wait for 24 hours and then come back. But 9 times out of 10, I was able to reliably get this quest to start for me. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is how I farmed the Aeternus Legendary Gatling Laser. This has revolutionized the way that I play my Brotherhood of Steel character, has made him so much more fun. I now no longer play in dread of running out of fusion cores, which is a great relief to me, and which is making my gameplay a lot more fun. I hope this video was useful. Let me know in the comments below if you too found the Aeternus, and if you found some other way of reliably getting the Amoral Combat quest to start for you. Please subscribe for more Fallout 4 and Nuka World content like this, and thank you so very much for watching.